My name is Luis Castanheira. I'm the ICP Europe Technical Director. And going through the agenda for today, we'll address the ICP Europe what and why again. I will have to apologize to the oldest members of this technical forum. Some parts of this presentation may seem similar to the first one, but as you will see later, the technical forum between June and this present date has had a growth of 50%. So we went from 82 members to 120 members. And so we have a lot of new members here. And we thought it would be important for all of them to be contextualized again, not with the same kind of detail as in the first one, because here and now and today we are already addressing, as I said, the new protocols, the European protocols, the first drafts that we have done. But again, just a brief introduction to the scheme, and then to the progress on the technical forum. The biggest section of the presentation of today will be dedicated to the energy performance protocols, the European drafts that we produced, but also with an integrated approach to the backbone of the structure of our project. And then speaking a bit about the technical research that we conducted and how you can help, and also about the next steps of our project. So regarding the outcomes, in the end of this technical forum, we hope that you get a big understanding of our objectives, of the development of the technical forum, mainly, and this is definitely the main point of today's technical forum, the structure and the application of the energy performance protocols, the present situation of the technical research, the technical forum timeline, how to comment on the draft that we just issued, and this is a crucial task, as I will refer ahead, and also next steps and how you can participate on our next steps. If you do have questions during the webinar, please click the chat button at the top of the screen in the Join Me control panel. Please address your questions to ICP Tech Team, and as much as possible, questions will be answered during this presentation, but we will have other tools that we will address in the end also. This presentation is being recorded and will be posted as all the other technical forum recordings at the europe.eeperformance.org and emailed to all the registrants on this webinar. So regarding ICP Europe, as the majority of you know, a critical mismatch has been identified not only in Europe but globally in the energy efficiency markets between project promoters that have a lot of projects to develop and investors which have significant capacity to respond to this demand of energy efficiency projects, but there's a gap here. And so the financial sector stakeholders and the building owners have identified the lack of project standardization as the main market barrier supporting this mismatch. And it's precisely this mismatch, this standardization, that ICP is trying to fill, bringing to the market a suite of products, implementation procedures and partners, as we will see in detail ahead. Lack of standardization. Well, basically, as you all know, also for any given energy efficiency project, you can follow different routes to get to similar results. But the problem is that even if the results are similar in a way, they cannot be compared. And this is probably the biggest problem of the lack of standardization. So what ICP is doing to energy efficiency projects is to standardize the approach to the way in which you do the underwriting procedure, how you document it, how you, what are the elements, what are the tools. And by saying this, I am not at the same time saying that we are prescribing any kind of tools or any kind of specific approach. No, we are just standardizing the way in which the whole implementation procedures of the project is done across the whole life cycle stages of this process, as we will see ahead. So it's probably worth also to say that a big concern and a big objective of the ICP structure is not to increase transaction costs to the promoters or to the financial sector or whatever. So in another way, I could say that if any project is already following the best state-of-the-art practices of energy efficiency, it's more than probable that the only thing, but very critical one, that ICP will bring to that project is the standardization, the way in which the tools or the standards or the resources or the documentation are made, and this is the big innovation behind our scheme. So in general, this will help developers deliver more bankable projects, will help the government reduce program process and costs, and will also help investors to manage risk so that they can invest in energy efficiency in a more assured way. The ICP Europe Steering Group, all the members of the technical forum already know it, is made of a lot of very relevant companies and organizations from different sectors related to the energy efficiency, both from demand and from the supply side, looking into this in a financial perspective. Also, this is just a sample of some of the members of the ICP Europe steering group. And it's also worth to mention that ICP Europe is being funded by the European Commission Horizon 2020 program and also by private foundations in Europe. Regarding the ICP Europe Technical Forum, so all of us, basically, it's a voluntary advisory group. All of you are voluntarily here, ensuring that ICP Europe staff produces relevant products and service for the European renovation market, and I really see that we are doing that. And the forum does this through providing marketing insight and feedback on draft products, like we are doing today precisely, providing local, national and European knowledge on relevant standards, best practices and initiatives, and also by identifying projects and programs for piloting of ICP Europe products and services. This is a word cloud that shows you basically the representativeness of the countries that have signed to the technical forum. The relative size of the country means the number of members that we have there. So slight change from last technical forum, and UK, Germany, Portugal, Belgium having a big representation, but also Spain, France and other countries present. And interesting enough also we have members from Canada, from Singapore, from the USA, so this also shows the relevance and the interest that this project is taking in other parts of the world. Like I said before, we went from 82 members to 120, and here we can see basically the distribution of these 120 members from different sectors or on the different sectors. Basically, a strong concentration on energy service companies, finance companies, NGOs and energy efficiency advocates and engineering firms. So I think we are getting an interesting and diverse enough elements from different sectors constituting this entire group, which is the technical forum of our project. The process for this technical forum, well, basically we aim at having monthly 1.5 to 2 hour webinars. I'm hoping that this webinar today is not going to take us more than 1.5 hours. We did not have one during the vacation period for 2 reasons. First, because it was vacation, and second, because we were finishing these drafts. But as we will see later, we are expecting to have a next technical forum in the next month, and we are hoping to have the drafts for the targeted protocols by then also. All the materials are distributed before the webinar, and we expect comments during the webinars or informally after. Edits and suggestions for the project will be collected either via direct edits, emails, or one-to-one person basis contacts, as you will see in the end. What are the benefits of participating on this technical forum? Well, as a first step, members will have the opportunity to shape ICP Europe products to their needs, and this, as you will see in today's presentation, is very, very important and relevant, as we are trying to find standards and resources at member state level. And for this and for your own activities, it is crucial that this match between the member state national resources and the European one is a robust and reliable one. So this is a very important part of the benefit. You will be among the first market actors to have full knowledge about the system, to participate with a network of other industry leaders, and also to learn about investors and government programs that are adopting ICP tools in the first place. Regarding the energy performance protocols themselves, and as I said before, this is the main part of our presentation of today. As you all know, these energy performance protocols are a part of a bigger thing, which is a process. And this infographic then will show us what is this process, how the process is organized, so that we can all get a nice picture of how these energy performance protocols are applied or integrate this process in detail. So as we know, we can have different rehabilitation energy efficiency projects coming from their very different origins, like public programs, energy service companies, utility programs, contractors, whatever. But the main thing is that once we have this project, the project will relate to a similar kind of initiative. In particular, the energy efficiency refurbishment of a building or of a system inside the building. So at this stage, always related to energy efficiency rehabilitation of a building. From there we go to the project development, and on this project development part of our scheme, a credentialed project developer calculates the baseline, determines savings calculation, develops plans for construction, etc. And the main part here to understand is the question about the certified project developer. Along this process, when we have the main energy performance protocols and the project development specification already developed, we will start opening this certification scheme for project developers. And this means that a specialized person will conduct this process of assuring that the project development is done according to the outlines of the ICP scheme and the energy performance protocols. And this will be also supported by a suite of software projects which will also be development in the future of our program. Further along the process comes the stage of quality assurance, where a third-party certified quality assurance provider reviews the project and confirms that this project is complying with the ICP energy performance protocols and all the other related documents like the standards, the resources, etc. And at this stage, the project can be seen as a project which is certified to be financed by an investor. Still, it's worthwhile mentioning that this is in a phase of the underwriting phase, meaning that building owners and investors can make investment decisions with increased confidence based on the predicted savings. At this stage, we are speaking still about predicted savings, but that is also one of another distinguishing factors of the ICP scheme, because just after this underwriting phase, we have the performance phase of the ICP scheme. And this is really an innovative approach of our scheme, as the scheme makes sure that the predicted energy savings are in fact achieved, and this is being monitored along the life cycle of the project. And as it is being monitored, if we get any deviations to the predicted savings, feedback measures to correct that will be implemented, and they are assured by our process. Regarding the protocols themselves, well, they basically have 5 main life cycle stages: baselining, savings projections, design, construction and commissioning, operations, maintenance and monitoring, and measurement and verification of the entire energy efficiency predicted savings. As you see, we have a lot of procedures, elements, operations, tools that we can use in each of these phases. I will address each of them in the next slides, even if briefly again. Regarding the energy performance protocols structure, as I said, we just released the large tertiary and the standard tertiary protocols, the drafts for you to comment on. Following, we will have the targeted tertiary and targeted apartment block, and then the large apartment block and the standard apartment block. But the way this is divided is that large protocols apply to projects where the project capex is above 1 million euros, and basically it refers to an old building retrofit. Standard tertiary and standard apartment block, the value of the capex goes under 1 million, but still we are speaking about the old building retrofit. And then we will have the targeted protocols, and these protocols refer to actions where we are acting on a single or limited number of energy efficiency measures, like, for example, replacing a lighting system, lighting and HVAC system, whatever, but we are not addressing the entire building retrofit scheme. Every protocol has basically 3 main sections that we need to know to understand the scheme: the element section, the procedure section, and the documentation section. So for every of the 5 life cycle stages that we see above on this slide, we have the elements, we have the procedures, and we have the documentation that we need to follow to comply with the ICP project scheme. So within the elements, we have things like the standards, the data elements that we have to use, the qualifications of the people applying the scheme. Within procedures, the best practice workflow, the standard industry practices, and within documentation, the standard documentation package and things like the itemized outputs required to comply with the ICP scheme. It is worthwhile, again, to remember this. So our protocols do not invent new standards, as we'll see in the following slides. They do not attempt to impose national standards in another country. On the contrary, they do not restrict any engineering solutions to be applied to these energy efficiency projects. And also, they do not define a set level of energy savings. So, like I said before, standardization is our main aim, is our main focus, and the assurance of the concretization of the predicted energy saving level. And that's it. All state-of-the-art tools, state-of-the-art engineering approaches are admissible within our structure of products. Going to the energy performance protocols components with a bit more of detail, and starting with baseline development, the intent of these components is to provide a reference regarding the energy use of a certain system, allowing for the prediction of energy consumption in different utilization contexts, which in turn allows for energy saving calculations. And for this, the method for achieving this result comprises a different set of procedures and things, like collecting 12 to 36 months of utility data, develop a 12-month baseline, determine and use energy use, collect building asset operational and performance data, weather data, occupancy data, and other non-routine adjustment factors that we might have for any project that we have in hand. And as you will see in following slides, the protocols give very specific examples or better guidelines on how to do this. Regarding savings calculations, and again for the large and standard protocols that we are looking at, they provide the most relevant information for project evaluation, demanding for determination of and modeling of the energy conservation measures to be implemented. And so, in this case, things like the energy modeling software, the modeler credentials, the supporting model files, the model calibration, process description, key metrics benchmarks, the energy conservation measures, model variables, and the individual saving results and package results are important parts of this element here. As it is, for example, the appropriate determination of the costs involved in the implementation of each measure. For example, just to give another example on this. Regarding design, construction, and verification, these are all crucial phases, as the majority of us know by practice. Many times the design and construction is one thing, but then many of the energy savings don't turn out to be a reality along stage, and this comes from a different set of reasons, but definitely verification plays a major role here, and the fact that these protocols foresee a performance period verification are the assurance that the market needs to be sure that the energy savings are not only predicted, but they are realized in fact in the future. So And for this, we need an operational and performance verification plan, a targeted commissioning effort. And within these operational performance verification approaches, we have very different things like inspections, spot measures, data logging, etc. We also foresee very, very important steps in this approach, like training and manuals for systems, manuals for maintenance, everything that will or could help us to be sure that all the necessary steps to make the predicted energy savings a reality will be performed and documented properly. And this is, again, major differentiating and innovative point of our approach. Regarding the operations, maintenance and monitoring, again, the way we operate and maintain the systems is crucial for their energy performance, and we need crucial information about these elements to guarantee that performance. Among them, the operation and maintenance plan, with the monitoring phase, obviously, and the correspondent process with the inspections, retro-commissioning, ongoing commissioning, monitoring based on commissioning. And again, and this is the first time that I am addressing this issue during this technical forum, but data and the existence of data, which is related with the use of proper ICT structures, is obviously a very important and relevant element of this structure, especially for bigger rehabilitation projects like the ones we are speaking about in these first two drafts. So again, the operations, maintenance and monitoring management framework, the manual, and the training again. As you see, documentation, training, being sure that the proper people are doing the proper action and that the action is being performed and this is being registered and documented. These are the pillars of the entire structure of our schemes. Finally, regarding measurement and verification, this is the step where procedures validate the reliability and effectiveness of the foreseen energy savings, which is a crucial thing for our process. And for this, we will need to have the proper credentials and also to use the proper option relating to the kind of project that we are developing. For example, we are foreseeing for targeted protocols that options A and B would be a very proper solution, and as option C is the proper solution to follow in these first two cases that we have just finished. And obviously the concluding monitoring and verification report. And again, many of the things that could probably go into the protocols themselves are being already assured by the following of some of the best practices, like it's the case of IPMVP protocol. Going a bit more in detail now to the energy performance protocols and to the drafts that we have already developed for our Europe context. This slide tries to show you in a very, very summarized way. This was the exercise we tried to do. That for different protocols, even if the structure backbone is the same, the procedures differ slightly, adapting not only to the complexity of the project, but also to the investment levels of the project. For example, in front of you, you have just a very, very short, just the highlights of what's in the element sections of the savings calculations on the large tertiary buildings and the standard tertiary building protocol. So on the left, you see what we have there for the large tertiary building and on the right for the standard tertiary building. And you can see that it seems very similar. It is in fact very similar in terms of the structure. So we have the energy conservation measures descriptions on both protocols. But then on the large tertiary building we speak about model data, and on the standard tertiary building we speak about calculation data, and also model calibration and measure calibration, modeling process description, and calculation process description. And why do we have this difference here? Well, because on the large tertiary building protocol, a detailed dynamic simulation model application is foreseen. And obviously, this is very different from having, for example, the use of a spreadsheet to do this kind of calculations. But a spreadsheet, for example, is accepted to do the calculation on the standard building protocol, exactly. But as, for example, in the large tertiary building, as we are using a detailed dynamic simulation model, the interaction between measures, it's already embedded in the results that the model gives us. On the other hand, if you are going to apply calculation data supported on the use of a spreadsheet, the protocol will ask you to tell us, to document basically, how did you take into account the interaction between measures if it's a case that you have them. So the protocols, again, are trying at the same time to allow people to use simpler methods in projects which have lower investment levels, but this does not mean that, for example, if you are conducting a project which is under 1 million euros capex and you want to apply the standard tertiary building protocol, that you cannot apply a dynamic detailed simulation model. You can, but we want to leave this option to the project developer, and this is open, but still, if you go to the simpler tool, you will have to justify some things, but on the other hand, you are not obliged to use a more complex and probably more expensive process on the way to apply the protocol. The last part of, in this example again, on both protocols on this section you see reporting. So reporting on this element section of savings calculations. And reporting, if you go to both graphs, it's exactly the same text that you get there, and the text is the one that you see below. So, and basically it says to report you must use an industry accepted format for reporting of results and for compilation of methods and underlying data, used for the individual energy conservation measure calculation, as well as for the package of recommended measures. And at present, and this is already the result of our European-wide research, the industry standard for report presentation of ECM, building and energy use data, is ISO 50002 on energy audits requirements we're guiding for use. But within our protocols, we are using or proposing to use only this section 5.8 and Annex A3 following type 3. We will see this in detail in the following slides so that we can understand in detail how the protocols articulate with the standards and the resources that we are showing on the draft, giving us the state-of-the-art practices guidelines that can be followed even if we don't have them. What do I mean by this? Well, on this slide, you can see basically the annex table that was referred on the reporting section we just saw. And you saw that we were addressing or saying that on large tertiary protocols and standard tertiary protocols, we are proposing that type 3 audit is followed, meaning that we are looking into a typical application to the whole site, to the whole process or system or fleet, to a comprehensive energy audit with significant input from the organization. And this is generally only cost-effective for organizations with high energy spend or institutions with targeted capital investment plans. So basically, for large buildings, we are looking into this kind of type of reporting, but most surely, when we design the drafts for the target protocols, we will probably be looking at a type 2 or a type 1 kind of reporting targeting at facilities, single sites, processes, or fleet. So, and this is a very important thing to understand. One, we are just, this ISO, as you all know, this ISO 50002 is a very detailed and big document, but our protocols are only directing people to the specific section of this standard, of this tool that the project developer or the third-party quality assurance certified people have to follow. And again, if you go, for example, to things like data collection, you see that type 3 is very, very detailed and very, very demanding, and makes entire sense, in our opinion, to be applied on this kind of protocols. And here we have things like the operating load profile of the site or the fleet, appropriate relevant variable data, for example, occupancy data of the building to establish the energy performance indicators for significant energy uses, the sub-meter data evaluated down to load profile level for significant meters, energy consumption data for the key sites, processes, systems, and equipment. So we have a lot of requirements here, and you see that our protocol, the only thing that says is that when reporting, you have to report on all of this. So we are being supported on this effort by the standards and the resources that we have researched upon. And at this stage, it is very important for us that all of you could go to the drafts, could go to the protocols and say if this choice is actually the one that you think is best for your market. If you see a better choice than this one, if anything should be done in a different way, but at the moment, and as a result of the work of the technical team, this is the standard for this specific section that we are foreseeing. Again, as you see, for type 1 and type 3, less requirements, and probably, again, the ones that we are going to be using for the targeted protocols. But again, this was just a very short section from the Annex 3 table, because this Annex 3 table also addresses the analysis, the opportunities identification, opportunities evaluation, and outputs. So we did not want to bother people with too much information at this stage and in this technical forum, but please do give us your comments, and if you need any assistance, in the end I will give guidance on that too. If you go and see the drafts on our energy performance protocols, many times along the drafts you will see references between brackets saying PD, section, and a number, basically. This is because right after we start building the targeted protocols, we will start building a very, very relevant product of our scheme that goes along with all the protocols of the scheme, which is a document called Project Development Specification. And this document represents the comprehensive resource designed for project developers and third-party quality assurance providers and investors to ensure that projects are developing full compliance with the ICP Energy Performance Protocol. This document will provide information about the protocol's requirements, the best practices, the quality management tasks, and references to ensure that all stakeholders are operating from a common set of requirements and practices. If you want to see it in a different way, it will be a cross-protocol kind of a roadmap book. You will find there complementing information to every protocol. So this will be a very significant part of our scheme, but it only makes sense to start building it after we have at least these two drafts stabilized as good after collecting your input. Between June and the present date, the technical team has done a vast work trying to find what are the most significant resources that we have in hand to be applied in our protocols across all the 5 life cycle stages of our scheme. And what you'll see in these 5 slides now, it's basically the result of that research. And we thought the best way to show you this is precisely with this list. With these slides that you will have in the end of this webinar, coming to this list, you know what are the standards and the resources that we are proposing to be used in each life cycle stage of each protocol. So I will not go in detail over all of them, obviously, just generally, but as you see, we are using things like IPM for baseline, like IPMPP, like the Buildings Performance Institute Europe's Data Hub for the energy performance, EN 16247 for energy audits, ISO 13790 for energy performance of buildings, in particular for the calculation of energy use for space heating and cooling, 50006 for energy performance using energy baseline and energy performance indicators, 16346 for the assessment of overall energy performance. On savings projections, we are using ISO 13790 and the EN 15265 only for the life tertiary for the calculation of energy use for space heating and cooling and the using of dynamic methods for this purpose, but also, as you saw before, ISO 50002 for energy audits, IPMVP again, ISO 15686 for the service life planning, very relevant one on life cycle costing approach, and still on savings projections. For the standard tertiary only, we are using 16212 for energy efficiency and saving calculation, top-down and bottom-up methods. We are using the European Central Bank's harmonized index of consumer prices and EN 15459 for the economic evaluation procedure for energy system in buildings. Regarding design, construction and commissioning, EN 13460 for documents for maintenance, relating to operations, maintenance and monitoring, EN 15331 for criteria for design, management and control of maintenance services for buildings. And finally, for measurement and verification, IPMVP and EN 16247 on energy audits. As you may start to understand, we are building a very vast reference framework of tools, resources, and standards to comply with all the procedurals of our scheme. And as you know, and as I said in the first technical forum of the ICP Europe project, we are trying at the same time to do the same thing or to find a correspondence with member state national resources, meaning that in each country, in each European country, people might choose between using the European and international references that I just mentioned before, or using their specific tools, resources, and standards that they have in their own countries. Even because, again, ICP does not want to increase transaction costs or to change engineering practices within your countries. So we are conducting a big effort of identifying at national level resources that can give us a proper correspondence with the European ones. And this, in the end, will end up in this Energy Performance Protocol Annex A, which will be an index of all the national standards and resources for all the countries. So instead of having for each protocol, for example, a table of the national standards that or resources that it could use, and because many of these resources will be used in different protocols, we are going to develop a document where you will be able to find all the standards, all the resources for all the countries, for all the protocols. And how do we intend to do this? I will just show you a brief example. So this is the UK example just for baselining. So still missing the other 4 phases. So we are just looking into one phase and into one country, which is UK. Okay? And if you see, you can look at the protocol stage, in this case, core requirements for baselining, and then the applicable protocols. So to what protocols could you apply this national standard or resource or whatever? Which is the protocol component to which does this standard or resource refer to? Let's just look, for example, at the first example, accurate total floor area. The European reference provision for this is how to calculate the total conditional floor area, and the relevant European reference here on the draft of protocols, it's EN ISO 13790-2008 on section 3.2.6. And the national equivalent standard that we have for the UK is CIPSI TM47. So we are in a stage where we are building these correspondence tables for the 28 European countries plus Switzerland and Norway. And as you all very well understand, this is a huge task, a very demanding one, not only in the volume of work, but also on the technicality of it. So this is probably the the major request for help that ICP Europe has for all of you technical forum members is to help us to reach the right people, the right experts, to help us with this research, even if the research is going well, and we will be showing the full results of this exercise very soon. But all the help is more than welcome and more than needed to be able to make sure that these correspondences are exactly right, and they will perform in exactly the same way all across Europe, even if the approach may be somewhat different. The results and the impact has to be assured. And again, regarding ICP Europe technical research, we are at this stage, and we are still trying to get a lot of help on this exercise. As you all know, on this link we have a link to our questionnaire on standards research. We have collected a lot of answers to this questionnaire, but still it's obviously still very, very needed and still very, very valid to do an extra effort on this. And please go there, because we are on the stage that really Europe needs our help, and we would love if you could help us identifying the right national standards. Because, and again, we want to make sure that transaction costs are not increased. We want to make sure that this process is a very easy and streamlined one, but also and mostly a most effective one. And for that, we really need to be able to address and to use the right national standards, and the only persons in the position to help us with that is each of you in each of your specific countries, with your in-depth knowledge of your specific market. So please help us with this, either by going to the questionnaire on this link, but if you prefer, please get in touch directly with me, and I will be more than help with any process or action that we might need to take to get this process going further. So relating to next steps on our process, this is the ICP Europe protocol timeline for 2015-2016. As you know, we just launched the large tertiary protocol and the standard tertiary protocol. And between now and December, hopefully much before than this, we will be releasing the final versions of the large tertiary protocol and the standard tertiary protocol, meaning that if you, at present stage, it's foreseen the commenting period, or the first commenting period, to go through the 2nd of October. So until the 2nd of October is the period that you have to do the first commenting. After that, we will collect those comments. We will integrate those comments into the drafts, and then we will put the drafts again for a second round of commenting and verification for all of you, and then we will close this process and send the finalized versions of the protocol to the market. At the same time, beginning of this month, as I said before, we are starting the development of the targeted protocols, and so we expect that between October and November. So as I said in our next technical forum, we will be evaluating the drafts of the two targeted tertiary and apartment block protocol. And it's probably worthwhile to do a mention of what is the reason why we chose to release the targeted protocol before the apartment block one, because there is a lot of demand on the market for smaller projects. So definitely, for all the reasons, the large tertiary kind of buildings is where the vast majority of the market for investment is. But right after that, we thought that the targeted protocols would be a very, very good added value for the market. So until the end of the year, we will be in the stage of finalizing these targeted protocols and starting with the large apartment block and standard apartment block in December, going to March 2016. So in the beginning, in the first trimester of 2016, we will have the entire energy performance protocol structure built, also with the project development specification alongside with this. Definitely, probably the most relevant slide of today's technical forum, and it is how you can help us with this effort. At first, the drafts were released basically a week ago, a bit more than a week now, but we would really, really value if you could tell us if these drafts fully respond to the needs and the specificities of your market. So please do comment on them. And this is a link for you to do that, you or your own networks. But this, as you'll see in the end, this is not the only way to do it, but the protocols are public, and we are all trying to comment on the protocols themselves on the Google Docs platform, because in this way we can promote a collaborative approach to this task, which is definitely a much better way to work, as we all can see the way that the other persons are thinking about the protocols and what might be less adapted to one circumstance or the other. On a second stage, you can deploy the application of these protocols on your projects. We are very fortunate to have already some pilot projects going on already in the UK, in Germany, and some others coming in also. But we definitely want to have more pilot projects across Europe. So if you see potential application for the protocols on your projects, please get in touch with us. We are here to support you on that implementation. So don't hesitate to contact us directly, and we will support you on piloting cases of the application of our protocols. Third point on this slide, help us reaching experts to identify best practice. As I said before, I know I'm stressing this out, but this is really, really important for our project. All the experts that we can get in touch with to certify that our standard research is the more comprehensive and the more effective and adapted one, the better. So if you know someone that you think that we should contact, please let us know, and we will do it. We will make sure that we will contact that person and try to get the person involved in our project. Finally, on this slide, get in touch with us on a one-to-one basis if you want, through myself. If you would like to address any particular issue or just discuss. Sometimes going to the platform and just see the drafts may rise some kind of doubt or whatever that you may or you feel that you would like to discuss but not to comment on the protocols themselves. So please don't hesitate to contact me personally. This is my email, and I will be more than happy to schedule a call with any of you and discuss any particular issue on the protocols or on the project. Actually, this technical forum, in the ideal situation, all of you would not be in mute. You would be speaking. It would be really interactive, but fortunately enough, we have a lot of people on our technical forum at this moment, and we are hoping to increase that. And it's a bit difficult to do that in that particular way, but that cannot deter us to have a one-to-one basis conversation. So please don't hesitate and just use the contact. I'll be more than that, as I said, to schedule calls with any of you. Again, I don't know if you've noticed, but we had a very significant revamp on our website, which is fully new now. And we have our specific section for the technical forum in this website. So please do use it, because this is the repository for all the information regarding to the technical activities that we are developing within this project. So you see, for example, we have the recording for the technical forum call from the first technical forum, and after today we will have the second, and so on and so forth. So all the technical resources will be here, and if you feel that something is missing, something should be added, that we should organize it in a different way or whatever, we are still in development stage also regarding these technical forum activities. So please just contact me, and I will be more than happy to take in your comments and do a better job out here. And again, this is the snapshot for the section of the page where we have the protocols under development. So if you go to our site, euro.eeperformance.org/protocols under development, and here you can find not only the direct link to the protocols under development, so to the drafts, but also instructions regarding what are we expecting from that commenting process, and also instructions regarding the commenting on the Google Docs platform. And again, please, if you think that something here should be rephrased or something is missing regarding the analysis of the drafts themselves, please let us know, and we will do our best to adapt this to the needs to your needs and the market needs. Almost going to the end of our technical forum of today. This went a bit faster than I thought initially. This is the updated slide on our ICP Europe Ally Network members. So as you said, also the Ally Network is growing rapidly, consistently, and with very, very relevant organizations on it. So yourself and companies that you think that are relevant to be an ally, please do tell people to be ally of our project because it's also free, but they get first-hand information on the scheme that is really very, very relevant for them. So again, thank you all for your time. I will be available either through the email or personal one-to-one calls on any technical subject that you might want to discuss. And for the ones that are newer to this technical forum, a warm welcome again to it. And I'm sure that together we will be able to unlock the European energy efficiency investment market. So once again, thanks a lot for your attendance